Welcome to my YouTube channel where we demonstrate and discuss everything related to theatrical and entertainment production crafts. Please subscribe to get the latest updates, posts, and demonstrations. While I will focus primarily on safety in the shops and comprehensive training and operating procedures for tools and machinery, I'll also demonstrate and discuss practical applications like flat and platform construction, scene painting, and more. If you'd like to see something specific, please let me know in the comments. Once again, please subscribe and power up the alert bell to get the most up-to-date notifications about new content. I have a stack of platforms here. They're all rejects for one reason or another. They're not rejects necessarily because of age, but more rejects because of construction style or non-standard stock equipment. Screw spacing for all of your support members is also important, and we'll look at a couple of other ones that were screwed together and underscrewed. But for 5 inches across, which is what this is 5 1/4. It's probably 5 1/4 plus 3/4 to add up to a total of 6. That's how I prefer to build my platforms. When you buy 1x6 off the shelf, it's going to be more like 5 1/2. And then 5 1/2 plus 3/4 gives you 6 1/4. And that's not a useful measurement for stacking your platforms. If you're building everything at 8-inch heights, that's okay. But if you're building some things at 6-inch standard step heights, you want to have this add up to be a 6-inch total gross dimension. In that 5 1/2 inches, I like to put in 3 screws. 3 screws is very important. This top one is a little bit crowding to the edge. You don't need to be that far to the edge. And sometimes people crowd to the top and they don't put anything in the middle. It's just better to be a little bit away from the edge of the wood. Right there. That's pretty good spacing. You get towards the end of the wood and you're more likely to get splitting, but 3 screws across a 5-inch span is good. 3, maybe 4. 4 I think is overkill, but 4 is better than 2. This platform was built without a standard distribution of the screws. I like to use a 6-inch spacing for most of my screws for my lids, and that provides enough coverage. This is more like a foot. My 6-inch spacing is usually from my thumb to my pinky. That's what I use as a quick measurement, so I don't have to measure it out. I call it a hand's width apart from there to there, and it's a quick and dirty measurement. It's about 6 to 8 inches, so I put one there and one there. So this is about, what, 12 inches? 14 inches. 14 inches isn't close enough to make sure that lid is going to stay secure. So we don't have enough screws going around here. We only had the one on the end piece, but we had one here and we have one here. So that ties it all together, and that would probably be fine. I probably would have put 2 there and there instead of 1 in the center, just to give it a little extra support in the corners. This is a good example of the correct spacing. This is a little close together, but it's about 6 inches, so it's within reasonable expectations. My hand width is really about 8 inches. But let's take a look at that and see what it looks like on the tape measure. Well, we're at 5 1/2, 5 3/4, 5 1/2. We're a little bit closer together than I like, but 6 to 8 inches is good. But this is a good example of the right screwing pattern and the right screwing frequency. Across here, we've also got the ends, the two screwing to the 2 side pieces, and I've got 3 across the middle for my 2-foot piece, and that's good. We had too far apart, we had just about right, a little bit close, and here we have much too close together for a screw pattern. These look like about 4 1/2 inches. That's way too close together. 4 inches, a little more than 4, a little more than 4. 4 1/2 down here. We've got 4 and slightly under 4. Way too many screws. You're making more work for yourself putting in that many screws. It's going to be more time in the construction. You're going to use more resources, and it's not necessary. The extra screws, yeah, maybe hold it together and make it stronger and will make it longer lasting, but they're not necessary. Every 6 to 8 inches is plenty. If this is twice as many screws as it should have, then you have spent twice as much time screwing that platform lid down onto the platform. Oh my God, oh my God. Even worse here. This is like every 2.5 inches across the cross member. We got to look at that. That is way too many across here. This is only 16 inches across, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws going across. 2 is plenty, 3 is a little overkill, 6 is way too many. And looking at the distance, we are at 2 inches, then we're at 3 inches, then we're at 3 inches, and 3 and 3 again. Way too many screws, way too many screws. Let's take all those out. All right. Someone put way too many screws in this platform. Way overkill. And as you can see, this is one of those ones where there's only 2 screws here, nothing in the middle. So we needed another one there, or we needed to go 1 there and 1 there, just to get all this way span across there. This one had 1 there and 1 there as well. Only the center had one there, 1 in the middle, and 1 there, and the other 2 only had them on the outside. So we're missing a key strength of our extra support here. And by leaving that screw out as I'm walking on this platform and I'm 2, 3, 4, 8 feet above the ground, this platform is going to start to creak as this part of the wood rubs up against that lid and stretches and breathes as I walk on it. So I've also created a noisy platform because I've missed some screws. Again, if I do these screws every 6 inches instead of every 12 to 14 inches, that's going to also help keep my squeaky platform sound down, and it's going to be a happier set on the stage. These are some more platforms I'm going to recycle into storage and props and use them to replace some old falling apart storage shelves. But they are also not built properly. They are built, again, with plywood lids and plywood frames. And then they are also missing a lot of pieces of support. There is support here, and it looks like there were some screws. There are some screws on this one. The other one behind it does not have those middle supports, and that's essential. And the screw pattern is just too far apart. And you'll see in the photo that these screws on the ends and from each of the side pieces is missing 1 screw at least. So they need to be built properly, and we need to put some more screws in the lid before I task them into a more long-term permanent storage situation. Those are my thoughts on building platforms and approaches and which ways work best and what I like to do in my shop. Again, you're going to do the thing that's right for your shop, for your set, for your situation, for your repeatability and reuse of materials. I just wanted to do this as an overview to kind of see some construction techniques and see what I think works and what I think doesn't work, and how that will impact your production shop if you choose to follow the same techniques and methods that I do. I hope that gives you some idea of how to approach platform construction and gives you some techniques you can choose to use, and you'll see which ones I prefer and why I prefer those. We'll look more closely at this when we build a platform, when I get to that video, and when we go over legging techniques. We'll talk about screw patterns and attachment points for different types of legs. So hope this is useful. Thank you.